Good day, everyone. I'm Kathy Galupo, and I'm going to discuss the Republic Act number 7796. So, what is this Republic Act number 7796? So, in Section 1, this act shall be known as the Technical Education and Skills Development Act of 1994 or the TESDA Act of 1994. So it is hereby declared the policy of the state to provide relevant, accessible, high quality, and efficient technical education and skills development in support of the development of high quality Filipino middle level manpower responsive to and in accordance with Philippine development goals and priorities. In Section 3, the Statement of Goals and Objectives. The statement of goals and objectives of TESDA is to promote and strengthen the quality of technical education and skills development programs to attain international competitiveness, focus technical education and skills development on meeting the changing demands for quality middle-level manpower, encourage critical and creative thinking by disseminating the scientific and technical knowledge base of middle-level manpower development programs, recognize and encourage the complementary roles of public and private institutions in technical education and skills development and training systems, and inculcate desirable values through the development of moral character with emphasis on work ethic, discipline, self-reliance, and nationalism. In Section 4 is the definition of terms. So, skill shall mean the acquired and practiced ability to carry out a task or job. Skills development shall mean the process through which learners and workers are systematically provided with learning opportunities to acquire or upgrade or both their ability knowledge and both pattern required as qualification for a job or of jobs in a given occupational area. Technical education shall refer to the education process designed at post-secondary and lower tertiary levels, officially recognized as non-degree programs aimed at preparing technicians, paraprofessionals, and other categories of middle-level workers by providing them with a broad range of general education, theoretical, scientific, and technological studies and related job skills training. Trade shall mean any group of interrelated jobs or any occupation which is traditionally or officially recognized as craft or artisan in nature, requiring a specific qualification that can be acquired through work experience and or training. Middle level manpower refers to those who have acquired practical skills and knowledge through formal or non-formal education and training equivalent to at least a secondary education, but preferably at post-secondary education with a corresponding degree of diploma, or as skilled workers who have become highly competent in their trade or craft as attested by industry. Private enterprises refers to an economic system under which property of all kinds can be privately owned and in which individuals alone or in association with another can embark on a business activity. So this includes industrial, agricultural, or agro-industrial establishment, engineering, the production, manufacturing, processing, repacking, assembly of goods, including service-oriented enterprise. Trainers shall mean persons who direct the practice of skills towards immediate improvement in some task. Trainers or trainers shall mean persons who provide training to trainers aimed at developing the latter's capacities for imparting attitudes, knowledge, skills, and behavior patterns required for specific jobs, tasks, occupations, or group of related occupations. Trainees shall mean persons who are participants in a vocational, administrative, or technical training program for the purpose of acquiring and developing job-related skills. Apprenticeship training within employment with compulsory related theoretical instruction involving a contract between an apprentice and an employer on an approved apprenticeshable occupation. Apprentice is a person undergoing training for an apprenticeshable occupation during an apprenticeship agreement. Apprenticeship agreement is a contract wherein a prospective employer binds himself to train The apprentice, who in turn accept the terms of training for a recognized apprenticeable occupation, emphasizing the rights, duties, and responsibilities of each party. Apprenticeable occupation is an occupation officially endorsed by a tripartite body and approved for apprenticeshable by the authority. Learners refers to persons hired as trainees in semi-skilled and other industrial occupation which are non-apprenticeshable. Learnership programs must be approved by the authority. User-led or market-driven strategy refers to a strategy which promotes certain linkages between educational or training institution and industry to ensure that appropriate skills or knowledge are provided by the student educational system. Dual system or training refers to a delivery system of quality technical and vocational education which requires training to be carried out alternately in two venues, in school and in the production plant. In school, training provides the trainee the theoretical foundation, basic training, guidance, and human formation, while in plant training develops his skills and proficiency in actual work conditions as it continues to inculcate personal discipline and work values. Levi grant system refers to a legal contribution from participating employers who would be beneficiaries of the program, often as a percentage of the payroll, which is subsequently turned over or rebated to enterprises or employee training programs. In Section 5, the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority creation. So to implement the policy declared in this act, there is hereby created a Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or TESDA, hereinafter referred to as the authority which shall replace and absorb the National Manpower and Youth Council or the NMYC, the Bureau of Technical and Vocational Education, the BTVE, and the personnel and functions pertaining to technical vocational education in the regional offices of the Department of Education, Culture and Sports or DEX, the apprenticeship program of the Bureau of Employment of the Department of Labor and Employment. Section 6. The composition of the authority. So the authority shall be composed of the TESDA Board and the TESDA Secretariat. Section 7. Composition of the TESDA Board. So the TESDA Board shall be composed of the Secretary of Labor and Employment Chairperson, Secretary of Education, Culture and Sports Co-Chairperson, Secretary of Trade and Industry Chairperson, Secretary of Agriculture Member, Secretary of Interior and Local Government Member, Director General of the TISTA Secretariat Member. Section 8. The powers and functions of the Board. The authority shall primarily be responsible for formulating, continuing, coordinated, and fully integrated technical education and skills development policies, plans, and programs taking into consideration. Section 9. Power to review and recommend action. The authority shall review and recommend action to concerned authorities on proposed technical assistance programs and grants in aid for technical education or skills development, or both, including those which may be entered into between the government of the Philippines and other nations, including international and foreign organizations, both here and abroad. Section 10. The TESDA Secretariat. Technical Education and Skills Development Authority Secretariat functions and responsibilities. So the TESDA Secretariat has these functions and responsibilities. Section 11. Director General. The TESDA Secretariat shall be headed by a Director General who shall likewise be a member of the TESDA Board. The Director General shall be appointed by the President of the Philippines and shall enjoy the benefits, privileges, and emoluments equivalent to the rank of Undersecretary. Section 12. Deputy Directors General. The Director General shall be assisted by two Deputy Directors General to be appointed by the President of the Philippines on recommendation of the Board. Section 13. Chief of Services for Administration. The Director General shall also be assisted by the Chief of Services for Administration, who shall be a career civil service official to be appointed by the TISDA Board. Section 14. Structural Organization and Personnel. The TESDA Secretariat, in addition to the offices of the Director General, Deputy Director General, and Chief of Services for Administration, shall be composed of the following offices to be headed by an Executive Director to be appointed by the Director General and shall have the rank and emoluments of Director 4. Section 15. The provincial TESDA offices. The provincial offices shall be headed by skills development officers who shall have the rank and emoluments of a director. Section 16. Compliance with the salary standardization law. The compensation and emoluments of the officials and the employees of the authority shall be in accordance with the salary standardization law and other applicable laws under the National Compensation and Classification Plans. Section 17. Consultants and technical assistants, publication, and research. In pursuing its objectives, the authority is hereby authorized to set aside a portion of its appropriation for the hiring of services of qualified consultants and private organizations for research work and publication in the field of technical education and skills development. It shall avail itself of the services of all agencies of the government as may be required. Section 18. Transfer of the Apprenticeship Program. The Apprenticeship Program of the Bureau of Local Employment of the Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE shall be transferred to the authority which shall implement and administer said program in accordance with existing laws, rules, and regulations. Section 19. Technical Education and Skills Development Committees. The authority shall establish technical education and skills development committees at the regional and local levels to coordinate and monitor the delivery of all skills development activities by the public and private sectors. Section 20. Skills Development Centers. The authority shall strengthen the network of national, regional, and local skills training centers for the purpose of promoting skills development. Section 21. Formulation of a comprehensive development plan for middle-level manpower. The authority shall formulate a comprehensive development plan for middle-level manpower based on a national employment plan or policies for the optimum allocation, development, and utilization of skilled workers for employment, entrepreneurship, and technology development for economic and social growth. Section 22. Establishment and administration of national trade skills standards. There shall be national occupational skills standards to be established by the TESDA accredited industry committees. Section 23. Administration of training programs. The authority shall design and administer training programs and schemes that will develop the capabilities of public and private institutions to provide quality and cost-effective technical education and skills development and related opportunities. Section 24. Assistance to employers and organizations. The authority shall assist any employer or organization engaged in skills training schemes designed to attain its objectives under rules and regulation which the authority shall establish for this purpose. Section 25. Coordination of all skills training schemes. In order to integrate the national skills development efforts, all technical education and skills training schemes as provided for in this Act shall be coordinated with the authority, particularly those having with the setting of trade skills standards. Section 26. Industry boards. The authority shall establish effective and efficient institutional arrangements with industry boards and such other bodies or associations to provide direct participation of employers and workers in the design and implementation of skills development schemes, trade skills in standardization and certification, and such other functions fulfillment of the authority's objectives. Section 27. Incentive schemes. The authority shall develop and administer appropriate incentive schemes to encourage government and private industries and institutions to provide high-quality technical education and skills development opportunities. Section 28. Skills development opportunities. The authority shall design and implement an effective and efficient delivery system for quality technical education and skills development opportunities, particularly in disadvantaged sectors, with new tools of wealth creation and with the capability to take on higher value-added gainful activities and share equitably in productivity gains. Section 29. Devolution of TESDA's trainings functions to local governments. In establishing the delivery system provided for in the preceding section, the authority shall formulate, implement, and finance a specific plan to develop the capability of local government units to assume ultimately the responsibility for effectively providing community-based technical education and skills development opportunities, provided, however, that there shall be formulated and implemented an effective and timely refraining of TESDA personnel that would be affected by the devolution to their being retained if the concerned local government would not be able to absorb them. Section 30. Skills Olympics. To promote quality skills development in the country and with a view of participating in international skills competitions, the authority, with the active participation of private industries, shall organize and conduct annual national skills Olympics. The authority, through the TESDA Secretariat, shall promulgate the necessary rules and guidelines for the effective and efficient conduct of annual national skills Olympics for the participation in international skills Olympics. Section 31. The TESDA Development Fund. A TESDA Development Fund is hereby established to be managed or administered by the authority, the income from which shall be utilized exclusively in awarding of grants and providing assistance to training institutions, industries, local government units for upgrading their capabilities and to develop and implement training and training-related activities. Section 32. Scholarship Grants. The authority shall adopt a system of allocation and funding of scholarship grants which shall be responsive to the technical education and skills development needs of the different regions in the country. Section 33. TESDA Budget. The amount necessary to finance the initial implementation of this act shall be charged against the existing appropriations of the NMYC and the BTVE. Thereafter, such funds as may be necessary for the continued implementation of this act shall be in the Annual General Appropriations Act. Section 34. Transitory Provisions. Within 2 months after the approval of this act, the President shall, in consultation with the Secretary of Labor and Employment and the Secretary of Education, Culture and Sports, appoint the private and public representatives of the TESDA Board. Section 35. Automatic Review. Every 5 years after the effectivity of this act, an independent review panel composed of 3 persons appointed by the President shall review the performance of the authority and shall make recommendations based on its findings to the President shall review the performance on both houses of Congress. Section 36. Implementing Rules and Guidelines. The TESDA Board shall issue within a period of 90 days after the effectivity of this act the rules and regulations for the effective implementation of this act. The TESDA Board shall submit the total committees on education, arts, and culture of both houses of Congress copies of the implementation rules and guidelines within 30 days after its promulgation. Any violation of this section shall render the officials or concerned liable under RA number 6713, otherwise known as the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards of Public Officials and Employees and other administrative and or criminal laws. Section 37. Repealing Clause. All laws, presidential decrees, executive orders, presidential proclamations, rules, and regulations or part thereof contrary to or inconsistent with this act are hereby repealed or modified accordingly. Section 38. Separability Clause. If any provision of this act is declared unconstitutional, the same shall not affect the validity and effectivity of the other provisions thereof. Section 39. Effectivity. This act shall take effect 15 days after its complete publication in 2 newspapers of general circulation. And that would be my topic, and that's all. Thank you.